Well, there's been some rumors, fake news, facts, real stuff that we need to talk about today. And I think it's our responsibility and creators' responsibility to differentiate what is real and what is not real.
Exactly. It's everyone's responsibility. It's everyone's responsibility as well to try to check our sources before we start spreading rumors. It's not even creators' responsibility. It's even the fans need to make a little bit of, fact checking before they start talking to others and telling people what is and isn't real. So we're gonna try to help a little bit with that. So let's get started. Welcome to the Eurovision Files.
Well, this discussion, of course, it has to do with the country at the center of all the comments, which is Israel. The pressure of fans or broadcasters or everyone around Eurovision sphere is whether or not the broadcaster can, representing Israel, should participate in Eurovision. But of course, there's been ongoing discussion, debate. I don't know how we call it because it's been very fiery in some instances.
And I think there has been a little bit of misinformation and a bit of disinformation, and just to be very clear, they are different things. Misinformation is fake news that are probably created by mistake, people copying rumors thinking it's true, and they spread that around. Disinformation, and obviously there is disinformation here as well, is people actually creating fake news with, bad intentions or just for the sake of creating that. So, but both things are happening, and I think we just need to try to clarify what's the fake news, whatever the reason for being fake news, and what is real in all this, what we know, and what's yet just a rumor.
Yes. So let's start by saying that because all these rumors, news, and so on started like a couple of months ago. I think it was Slovenia saying they may withdraw, alleging financial reasons, but also pointed out the fact that Israel is set to compete next year. So a lot of other countries, I'm not saying broadcasters, countries or representatives of the delegations or whoever started saying we may not participate, let's see what happens with Israel. So because of that, the EBU released a statement saying that they will respect broadcasters' decision regarding their participation. And that is why, as we commented on the last episode, the deadline was extended until December to decide whether or not they wanted to participate in Eurovision 2026.
Yes. So in December, they are holding a vote, or that's what we understand, that they are holding a vote. And then, yes, after that, after the decision has been taken, some broadcasters will probably decide not to participate and some others will want to go ahead. So,
yes.
Yeah.
What we know at the moment, and just today it happened, that the Spanish broadcaster RTVE, or Radio Televisión Española, because I can say it because it's my first language.
RTVE.
RTVE. They confirmed they were pushing yesterday for this vote to pass, and it was confirmed today by the broadcaster that they will withdraw if Israel participates next year in Eurovision.
Yeah. And this has not been decision that they've taken on a whim. There has been a vote, and the vote has been passed by a majority. So yes, it is fully confirmed they are not going to participate if Israel stays in the competition.
Yes. I have to mention something here is that I don't know if you guys are aware what was happening in La Vuelta, España, which is like the Tour of France, or El Giro in Italy. You know, it's a cycling competition that goes all around the country. So there's been ongoing, protests
Yes.
all along against one specific team because it's called Israel and it's financed by a businessman from Israel.
Yes,
I believe
yes,
it is.
it's Israel something else.
Yes.
And it was in all their t-shirts and so on, and there have been lots of protests about it. So something happened over the final weekend.
Yeah, so they couldn't even finish. They couldn't even get to the finish line in the center of Madrid, so they had to stop the race in the middle of nowhere.
And they actually removed Israel from the t-shirts at some point during the race as well. Not this final weekend, but at some point last week because of all the protests. But obviously it wasn't enough.
No. But of course, because Spain has seen what can happen in terms of, I don't know, some security concerns. We've been calling for security concerns for the last couple of years. Whether or not you like one country to participate, it's more about what the security network that is around the contest.
Yeah. I think it's also worth mentioning, and I don't know how much the general public is aware of this, the day of the final last May, just before Eurovision started being broadcasted, the broadcaster RTVE released they didn't release a statement, they literally put a black screen saying that when human rights were at stake, it was basically a crime to stay silent. So they have made their position quite clear in the past. So this just continues with that kind of position, and it sort of makes sense. So yeah, it is confirmed now.
Yeah, they're taking action now, and I think the same. If I'm not mistaken, the same happened with Belgium before the semi-final.
Yeah,
and also the previous year, that was for sure when Musti didn't go through.
Yeah, there was.
But I think last year.
Last year was when Musti didn't go through. So it wasn't. They were not in the final. They were not in the final this year. Obviously, Spain is because it's one of the big five. So yeah.
Well, Spain has said that. Then we know as well because the other broadcaster, the Irish broadcaster RTE, already confirmed that they will withdraw if Israel participates. This is a fact. This broadcaster also said they will withdraw.
Correct. Again, this comes after Bambithak said that they would boycott their own song. So Don't Say Blue, they would not perform that song again while Israel stays in the competition, etc. And yeah, Ireland has made their point quite clear, and I think they were actually the first ones that were outspoken, and that we could actually see a proper statement from them.
Yes. Another broadcaster that already said as well that they wouldn't participate in Eurovision is Arbotros, the broadcaster for the Netherlands. Again, this is confirmed. This is something that they said.
Yes, they have also released a statement, and we have been able to read this, so we know for a fact it is true.
Yes. Then we mentioned Slovenia at the beginning. They said they might withdraw. This is not 100%. We will not take part, as with the case of Ireland, Spain, Netherlands, and so forth that we mentioned just now. Slovenia and Iceland, they both said they might withdraw. So it's not something given. They will reconsider their own participation.
Yes.
They said that. It is not confirmed that they won't participate.
Yeah, correct. And I think it's important to highlight because I think it's going to be a big bracket of countries that are going to be in this position where they will not want to make a statement or take a decision until they see what's happening with the vote. Obviously, I'm not sure how much of a, taking a strong stance it is, because at the end of the day, you're sort of just waiting and doing what the majority does. But I think they're sort of opening themselves to like actually changing their decision before December. And I have a feeling with many of these countries that are going to be a question mark, they will decide before December and they will release statements. It will depend as well on how many countries are actually, taking that strong position.
Yeah, I think it's more like a matter of let's see what the others say, because we know some broadcasters, for instance, the Slovenian broadcaster, they might not be as powerful
Exactly.
as the Spanish one.
Exactly. I think the big five are the ones that people are going to be keeping an eye on, which takes us, I think, to France, which is another one that has been in the rumors or the rumor sphere with, with questions that they said, apparently they had said that they were going to withdraw. However, as of today, we don't have a statement.
No. We trace back that reference, and it's an Instagram account called France. And if you go there, it's more like a France tourism kind of thingy, and it's not even official.
Exactly.
And even though the country would say it, the country like this entity, it has to be the broadcaster. It's the broadcaster who takes action and decision on their participation. It's not even the prime minister. Macron won't say anything about this. Even if he said, he wouldn't have a word in the final decision.
Yeah, I think governments when it comes to public broadcasters, they might put pressure one way or the other, but no, the final decision is not a government one, is a broadcaster one. Obviously, we always hear and get drummed again and again that Eurovision is not political. We know that, it's very questionable, but definitely, yes. It can't be an account from the country. It can't be an account of a tourist board. It has to be actually the broadcaster releasing that statement.
Yeah. At the beginning of these rumors, there were posts on Instagram from all these accounts that copy each other, basically. And they said that very strongly that Germany and Italy won't participate if Israel doesn't participate. It's a very strong statement.
Yeah.
They said nothing, actually.
They have not released nothing of the sort. They have not confirmed either way. Again, the voting has not taken place, and they have not positioned themselves either way.
Yeah.
You may
actually.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Actually, the German broadcaster released a very vague statement yesterday, like saying, "We will abide with whatever the EBU decides, and we believe in the consultation." So they will take whatever comes out of the vote.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's one of those that are positioning themselves in the maybe by not saying really anything. But I think the reason why the disinformation or misinformation came about was because it's two of the big five again. So obviously, whatever they plan to say, people are going to be keeping a big eye. Imagine if all the big fives said we're not going to participate. I mean, where is the money coming from in that case? They put a lot of pressure. But yeah, you mentioned all these accounts that copy each other. We don't post multiple times a day. It's one of the reasons as well. Obviously, we need to fact check. It's really important. So when we post something, it's either because it's something that you don't know about or that we have definitely fact checked. But yeah, it's again not to say that we actually sometimes get some of our information from these accounts as well, and we try to double check that, but it's important to bear in mind that sometimes speed and trying to throw in lots of information means they're going to get it wrong.
Basically clickbait.
It is. I mean, we have in the past 72 hours seen posts from the same accounts saying things that were, against each other. Like, for example, that Celine Dion was in Basel versus Celine Dion was not in Basel. And
She wasn't. She's the Celine Dion of Schrödinger.
Exactly. We've seen pictures of her in Basel, just to be very clear. We don't know if she was going to perform, but she was there.
The BBC reported that.
Yes.
I mean, if the BBC says something, that's a very reliable source.
Yeah. I would say they got those pictures right. So anyway, just an aside to lighten up things. Keep an eye on where you're getting your information, and if it comes too soon, double check it.
Yeah, if it's too fast, it's usually too fast that this happens. Yeah. Another account that we've been getting, but that's nothing to do with a broadcaster again. It's from an MP from the Scottish Greens saying that they would like for the BBC to pull out. Yes. And that's like a request from a politician. Again, that doesn't mean that the BBC has decided not to take part in next year's competition. That is like a debate that's happened in the parliament, actually. Yeah. So what will happen with this? Is it going forward? We don't know. Let's see what happens in the end. But this is an ongoing discussion that, publicly or not, countries are having.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. It's I think the Scotland question and the Wales question always, it tends to also like pop up every year. Why don't they have their own representative? Well, again, it's the BBC, it's a national broadcaster. What happens in a case of the UK is then you've got 4 different nations with different, hopes and dreams about how they want Eurovision to be run. But the reality is there's one broadcaster for the 4 nations, there's one artist, and the one broadcaster will decide for the 4 nations. Hopefully they will get feedback from all of them as well, because the BBC has subsidiaries in all 4 nations as well. So I am sure they have people as well putting pressure one way or another.
Yeah. More rumors. It's that apparently the EBU, I think this was 2 days ago. This is evolving very fast. The EBU apparently offered Can 2 options. One was to pause their participation for a year, and the other one was to participate under a neutral flag. Then the EBU said it didn't happen at all. So please don't believe anything that you hear online. The EBU said back to one of the proposals that the main person from the Icelandic broadcaster put on the table, like maybe Israel can do this or this, or can, not Israel, you know what I mean. But this is something that they even didn't do. They didn't offer anything to Can. That's another fake.
I think that was probably the biggest rumor that we've had, because obviously it was referencing directly Israel and Can. And again, like it started, I mean, obviously you read that, you start thinking, even when you are aware that it's potentially unlikely, you start thinking whether they are good ideas, they are bad ideas. But then, we didn't need to think about that in the end, because it wasn't true. Or at least we don't know if it's, obviously what someone might have said and what someone might have done until we actually know for sure what happened, we have to take that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, so this didn't happen at all.
Another one.
The ABU, the ABU said this is not happening. They might be thinking of many other ideas, probably, but they didn't present anything to Can. And lastly, but not least, the Can CEO released another statement saying that Eurovision shouldn't be about politics, and they're upset about these boycott threats. Basically, that's what.
Yeah. And I agree to a certain extent. But I think what everyone sort of recognizes right now is this is not just about politics. This is about like human nature and having a heart. So
I would like to refer back to a quotation that I use in my classes and my presentations by Martin Oostendal, actually, when he was asked about the withdrawal or expulsion of Russia from Eurovision. He said that Eurovision is a reflection of Europe, and how Europe feels should be mirrored in the contest.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's the time to do that again.
Absolutely. I think it all goes down to the silence. People do say that Khan doesn't agree, but there hasn't been a strong statement. I don't know if people have access. I don't have access to what Khan reports and what they don't report. I don't really know that. But if there had been a statement, again, we would know. I'm sure that would have been extremely clear, and they haven't. And what's a reality is what we've seen reported elsewhere. And a few weeks ago, I was seeing at the UN Assembly some representative from Israel denying that everything that was being reported elsewhere was true. So until Khan comes and says, no, excuse me, but this is actually true and we are going to report on that, they are being complicit.
Yeah, so they if they want to distance themselves to what is happening in the country, or if they want to make really clear that they are not supporting that, they might be able to be included in Eurovision. Not that they are excluded at this moment. Nothing has been decided. But again, are we going to have Eurovision with, I don't know, 10 participants? Is the contest going ahead?
Yeah.
If loads of them are pulling out?
Oh,
what's going on?
Yeah, obviously we can't know, but the reality is it would not be the contest that anybody wants. I would say give the win to Israel then, and just we stop the trouble. Just what's even the point? It is unfortunate that we are in this situation, but personally, and this is literally a personal argument here, but I do agree with what some of these broadcasters are actually doing, and I think something needs to change. If you actually want change, it needs to start somewhere, and it's starting with these broadcasters that have actually spoken out and have taken decisions, and we'll see. Another thing to bear in mind, though, is when it comes to the voting, I believe it has to be 3/4 of a country voting for the resolution to exclude them. So it is actually a very tough situation to actually get the country to be excluded, or excluded for a year, which I believe is what they're trying to do. It's not a permanent situation, and I wouldn't want a permanent situation because government can change, and I am sure that the majority of the population are wonderful. But yeah, 3/4 is a lot, and I think the only way that you can sort of influence that is if you start soon and start gathering that momentum and that number of countries doing the same thing.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if that was like 2 months ago as well. They said, we haven't actually received any requests from any other broadcasters to make Israel withdraw or something like that. Well, I think the whole point now is that they're taking action. They are speaking out. There is not just vague comments made in whatever place. These are now official statements made by a vote of the assembly of each broadcaster. And I think what they're doing is just pushing for a change.
Yeah.
And I hope they can get away with it, and we will have a contest next year with as many participants as possible in a very peaceful way.
I think generally what everyone wants is that things, all the the famine and the pain that is happening is actually stopped, and it stopped soon, so people can, you don't have to I don't want to enjoy a contest with the guilt that something is happening still. I want everyone, finds ways of enjoyment, and we find Eurovision a way to enjoy and a way to unite countries. And I just wish we get to a position where, we can actually, if this happens and eventually happens for a year, that it doesn't have to be permanent, because hopefully people can live in peace eventually. Maybe it's a dream, but one can hope.
You're a romantic.
I am a romantic. I want countries to understand each other. And I want broadcasters to tell the truth. And I just hope that, we get to that point where we don't have to go around with all these rumors and all these threats about withdrawing and about doing whatever. I just get to a point where I want to get to the point where we used to be, where the contest was really about the songs. Even 2 years ago, I mean, in 2023, we were all fine and Israel was there, and nobody was having an issue with it because it was okay. So let's hope.
We had another enemy that year, remember?
Ooh.
Russia.
Well, but 2023, they had not, they were already out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were together in unity and love for Ukraine. I remember that. And we're still in there.
And Europe actually got together there by saying, Ukraine won 2022 and they can't celebrate in their country, but look at how Europe put together and the UK put together a wonderful show where they celebrated Ukraine because they were the winners. And I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was beautiful to be able to do that. Let's just be fair about whatever is happening around the world. And I appreciate that it's not, they keep saying it's not a political contest, but even if it's the broadcasters and not the government, they are performing under the flag of the country, and that's the reality as well. So if can is, detaching themselves from what the government is saying, fantastic, but they are still performing under the flag of Israel. So it is what it is. It's the reality.
Let's see what other countries say. Let's see if more statements, real statements from broadcasters come up. If not, we will need to wait until December and the big decision. It's not going to be easy, apparently, because whatever happens, they need a majority. It's not like, let's get half on an agreement. No, it's 75%.
Yeah. I think there are... There are nuances between kicking out the broadcaster permanently, kicking them out for a year, and banning Eurovision, banning the country or the broadcaster from the EBU completely. So, but because I don't know exactly how it works, I'm not going to tell you here. I'm not going to spread that misinformation myself.
But it's on the EBU regulation and guidance, and you can go in there and see. It's all public and it's all transparent. That's a good thing that we have access to that, rather than go to TikTok or Instagram page and just copy paste whatever they say. But we will be reporting back. We will be keeping all the facts, and we will be throwing out all the fakes. In the meantime, we haven't got any announcement from a country about their artist.
Yeah, you had a theory last week. I had another theory last week.
I think you're winning.
I am getting a feeling that it's also... Yeah, I mean, I am sure there are, both sides are sort of in agreement. But I would say last year you would have won by a mile. It was your reason that, early artists that get announced and don't go past the semifinals. Now I feel a bit like a 50-50, they are trying to balance that reason with the fact that they don't want to take a decision until... I don't think it would be very hard for an artist to be announced, and especially artists in Eurovision are sometimes really young. Imagine, like, you start dreaming about going and so on, and then imagine if they decide this is actually not happening. It will be heartbreaking.
Yeah. Whatever happens with countries, we will get national selections and national finals anyway. If the country goes to Eurovision, they would go to Eurovision or not, or the winner, they decide not to go. That's something that Festival da Canção has made clear, that the winner of the festival, they won't be forced to go to Eurovision. So they can decide. We know that, for instance, in the case of Spain, that they have firmly said they won't compete if Israel participates. Benidorm Fest goes ahead, whatever happens.
And it's exciting as well, because like we said last week, we will have Sergio Jaén as artistic director, and he was the brains behind the paper ship from JJ and the microphone from Erika and the scaffolding.
All the good ideas.
Like all the good ideas for his. So, we want to see that. We might not have Eurovision, but we definitely have Benidorm. So at least our winter is covered. Winter is fine.
We're getting... We're getting a season after all.
Yeah. It's like when you get the league, the football leagues, but then for whatever reason they cancel the summer tournaments. We're still going to be some sort of okay. Maybe we can organize like an online thing where we just vote for like our favorites.
Like the OGA.
Yeah, something like that. But we do it properly. Let's organize it properly. Let's have a live session where we watch all the videos and so on. It'll be fun.
Well, we'll figure it out. I'm still hopeful that we'll get like a full house in Eurovision next year.
Fingers crossed. Yes, we want a big festival. We want to go to Vienna. We want to, enjoy the wonderful atmosphere there.
And be happy. And united by music.
Exactly.
So keep your eyes peeled. We'll be on Instagram just reporting the good truth.
The truth. Whatever we report,
I
think we promise now it will be the truth. Moving forward.
We did a workshop run by the EBU at the beginning of this year. Fact checking. People didn't do their homework.
I was gonna say some people probably didn't do this.
Nah. But guys. See you on the other side.
Next week. If we have any facts, we will be here next week. Otherwise, we don't know, because we're talking for half an hour.
Or artist or whatever.
Something.
Yeah. I'm sure that we will have material to talk about.
Absolutely.
So see you next week.
See you. Remember, you can subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave a 5-star review, and check out our Instagram account.